So here I am at Medina Hardware. It's the 150th anniversary of there being a hardware store at this location in Medina, Ohio. One thing I noticed, look at these old fans on the ceiling. Isn't that cool? No pun intended. Wonder how long those have been there. I'm just kind of pointing down at the display areas right now. And look at the hardware sign. Everybody loves neon, right? Now look at here. How about that? Don't see those in stores anymore. So you can wheel this the full length of the front of the store and reach all the things up high and get into all these drawers. Look how worn some of the steps are. The nails are starting to show through. And they get less worn the higher up you go. Because they got stepped on less. Cool. It's a creaky floor. Sorry. But yeah, how cool. And of course there's one on each side, because there's the other one over there by the buffalo head. So what's in some of these little wooden drawers here? Screws. And they're all labeled. Wow. Wonder how old these drawers are. Certainly over 100 years. Reminds me of your setup, Reggie. You might have more hardware than this store, though. It's possible. And they've got hand tools. Chisels. Very sharp looking. Don't touch. How about that? It says Mason line, and there's Mason line in there. What brand wrenches are they selling? Channel Lock, Allen, Easco. Look at all the bulbs on display. Complete assortment flashlight bulbs. So many to choose from.
I don't think it's metric.
And they got channel locks.
No, I came to the counter. I tried to put a regular size screw on or nut on it just to see what kind of thread it is.
4.5 inch. Look at that. It's so tiny. 100% made in USA. Look at it next to the giant one. It's almost the size of the jaw of the 16.5. Pretty cool. Fencing tools, files. I looked at these. They're not USA anymore. Portugal and Brazil. How about an elephant watering can? That's kind of cool. It's a little disturbing you have to put the water in through a giant hole in its head. What is that? What year was the East Wing Gold Hammer Award?
Ooh. Gosh. 1983.
83. How about that? There's even cool antique tools on the wall, including an adjustable draw knife. Don't think I've ever seen one of those. Gonna have to keep my eye out for that at Colonial Homestead. Oh my, look at that hedge trimmer. You have to be the Hulk or Captain America to work that. Granddad made wood spouting with this plane. Oh, I see, it's round. Yeah, my uncle's house used to have wood spouting on it. And check out this old fan. They still use it. I've never heard of that one. Siemens we've heard of, but Siemens Schuckert. Alright, I'm gonna head downstairs. So the basement is the Housewares Department. Ceramic crocks, cast iron cookware, canning and giant pots and pans. Fire pit stuff. And something kind of ingenious back here. They got all this pegboard with all these products on it, and each one is actually a set of doors with a hook and eye, and they're all numbered so they can keep their stock back here right behind where the retail is. Isn't that clever? And look, not only can you get buckets, you can get washboards. Columbus Washboard Company, Logan, Ohio. Standard family size. Made in USA. This one here is double handy. Use either side according to the fabric. Oh, so this side has raised ribbing, and this side has the smooth ribbing. Ideal for silks, hosiery, and lingerie. Packs easily into suitcase or traveling bag.
Some of the stuff we got in the store that has worked for literally hundreds of years, and we see no reason to change it. So we've got this guy here, which is part of our measuring system, and you can see the way it's set up. This is the reel over here on our right, and that's where it spools the product for the customer. To the left is where you put your coil, and you can just real quick to show you how it works. It's super easy. Just spool it up, set it to 0 like I just did. Open up our wheels, advance it through, start your winder, and it's only used for something over 50 feet, let's say, normally, but you know, you can see it starts with 1s, 10s, and 100 foot. I don't know who made this thing, but it does say there. And believe it or not, these are still very much like this. They're still available. The graphics on here look a lot more current, but the machine itself, you can tell, really hasn't been changed that much. It's not digital or anything. It's still an analog machine, which I think is awesome. We've got the foot, you know, we do it down here on the feet. You can see on the floor I've got things marked. We go up to 75 feet. So that's one of the ways that we can measure.
Clever.
This thing is, this is put on a lot of threads. I know my dad bought this used. He came to the store in 32. He left for the war in 41. And he knows he bought it somewhere in that time, but he can't really remember. And it was used at that time. It was used. So, you know, it's kind of amazing.
Tag.
Yeah, it's an Oster. It's a Tom Thumb.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah. Black & Decker motor. 2-directional, 1 speed, a lot of torque. But yeah, it threads from 1/2 inch up to 2 inch. And it auto oils. Let me turn it on for you so you can hear it.
Sure.
It's kind of cool. I'll just show. The pipe would go. I'm not going to thread any pipe. Basically, it advances in there. And this is your thread die, and I'll show the we'll start it without the oiler on. You might want to step back so you don't get splattered. Back out.
Awesome.
I threaded a lot of pipe on this over the years.
I can see.
Thousands, I'm sure.
Very cool.
And we got an Oster cutter here. I don't know how old this is. Pretty old though too. It could still work. Reuse it. Nothing wrong with that.
I imagined it was a abrasive disc cutter when you first said it. I didn't even get a good look before it started.
Like a chop saw type thing.
Yeah, this is an actual regular pipe cutter, but motorized. That's cool.
We cut up to 2 inch with that pretty damn fast. And believe it or not, that blade, I don't even think it's a blade. I started here in 1972, and I think that's the same one. I'm not kidding.
Let me get around this side here. Huh.
I really don't
Oster.
think. I think it's worn off a little bit because I used to be able to cut 1/4 inch pipe with it, which is about what, 1/2 inch OD roughly. And it's hard to get down that high, so I'm pretty positive that that blade is worn, but it still works on most sizes.
And the pipe vise is a reed, made in Erie, PA.
Yeah. Oh, that thing there is an interesting tool. It's on a publication. I've seen it on graphics from the Maytag company. And we were a Maytag dealer back years ago, and what this thing does, obviously it's a press.
Right.
And it was used, we've used it for a lot of things, but this right here would go on these cross ties, and it was made to hold an agitator for a Maytag wringer washer. And the shafts were inside of it. I could show you one, maybe.
Oh my. You see what that says, Toolerinos? I'm gonna have to get a better look. You can just barely make it out. Look at that.
So that's
one of the originals, I'm sure.
This is what it was made to end up looking like. That's the spline on a newer agitator. So this would go in here like so. You put it in there, you put the new, we have a tool over there that removed the old spline, and you would lay the new spline on top of it and press it in.
And so this table here is probably for what? Fixing screens? So you got all the little spools of the little rubber stuff that goes in to hold the screen in place, and spools of screen here along the underneath the table.
Trying to think where.
And more screen here.
This tool, you saw this the other day. I don't see the jig for it. This is kind of crazy. This was our, somewhere around here I have a sliding jig that held skates, and yeah, this doesn't, it's not plugged in anymore.
So this was an ice skate
This is for, exactly.
sharpener. Has a disc sander or grinder on the other side?
Grinder. I really don't know what we ever use that for, but you can see it's been used. It's cool.
Yeah, something's been turned into it, but it had a table here.
Yeah.
It's an interesting grinder.
This guy here is this is from Case Manufacturing, like Case Knives, and it was obviously for sharpening scissors, shears. You hold it big in here and you slide it past.
It uses a pretty small motor. It's practically a sewing machine motor.
It's underpowered. You're exactly right, because when I get a pair, although it does do pinking shears, and that's a pretty wide, you just have to be right touch, right friction.
So what's in all the little wood drawers at this point?
Maytag parts.
Maytag parts?
Yeah, from long ago, Maytags that are probably not even in existence anymore. Rear washers.
Key
Pretty cool
cutting.
drawer. Bearings, and you're welcome to open them up.
Oh, they're galvanized steel with wood faces.
Yeah.
Neat. Just all sorts
Mechanical
of
parts, switches,
old parts.
These are bearing hangers for the top of a Maytag wringer washer, the upper roller. Tension caps.
Belt lacer.
Probably put these on eBay. Yeah, you know what a belt lacer is?
No.
You've seen machinery that's driven by big web belts,
Yeah.
like farm equipment.
Oh yeah.
That's what that does.
So
Clipper Belt Lacing
for
Company.
flat belts.
Yeah. And the belt lacing was made to...
Does it have a brand name on it or
Clipper.
something?
I think.
There it is.
Clipper belt lacing.
Clipper belt lacer. Amazing.
Yeah. And the lacing was available for different width, thickness belts rather. And I think I still have some of it over there.
And these drills are still in use for the hardware store.
We just use them to mix
Paint or something.
Mix paint when we re-roof our roof up on the. That one right there will screw you into the ground. It's got some.
Yeah.
Look at the age of that.
I know. Look, it looks like
that bay, and it works. Works great. But
look at the chuck on it. It's huge.
be ready to, get a good grip on something if that thing gets caught, because it'll, like I say, it'll screw you into the ground. It's amazing.
So this is the workbench for the hardware store.
My messy workbench. Don't show too much of this.
Oh, come on. Everybody likes to see a workbench.
Exactly.
Looks better than mine most of the time. So on this side is plumbing. Just bins and bins and bins everywhere of every imaginable fitting. Oh, look at all the brass pipe. Brass fittings. I can't even reach it. I need a ladder or a step stool. You know, from the street, the store doesn't look that big, but they have everything you can imagine for a hardware store in here. It's crazy. What year did you say this became a hardware store? Are you still nearby?
1872.
1872, this place was a hardware store. And here's a set of bolt cutters. New Easy, Boston, patented October 1892. H.K. Porter. That's 120 years of wear right there. And check this out. There's this awesome glass cutter here. It's Fletcher, so there's like the little handheld part. It mounts in there. Hopefully we can read this all right. So it's got a guide to guide the glass cutter up and down to make a straight cut. I'm not even sure how long it goes. Pretty far. Pretty cool, huh? Neat stuff. I love these old displays. And look at the tools for pulling out the nails. Pretty cool, huh? See how the fingers are loose? I originally saw that and thought, well, it loosened up, but I think maybe they wanted it that way because then the fingers could settle down into the nails better and get a better grip, just like real fingers would. They would move rather than have them be rigid. What do you guys think? Think that's supposed to be loose so they can wiggle? Or is it just loosened up over time? And check this out, Scout Crafter. The Fluoro lamp tester. It is a fluorescent light bulb tester. And at this end it has a movable part with the wire on it, so you can test different length fluorescent lamps. And this thing is just a neat display that's just sitting on here because they probably never have to test fluorescent lamps anymore, because people just buy new ones, of course. Does this work? Yeah, it does. Look at that. That's cool. It's the old ceramic bases. Pretty neat.
Alright, $23.75. You gonna... Alright. Time to make... I'm sorry. Right. I am an E drawer. I always have been. So I would ring my sale up and I would press the center key because I don't want a receipt. And then I jump back because that happens.
And that's your drawer.
That is my drawer.
These drawers are for other people when
my
they're
dad was
out.
always in A drawer because he was a tall guy and he wanted to be in the top. Over the years, you know, hundreds and thousands of rings, sales.
Right.
This came used also.
And the
original
button that does the every sale.
This is the one we use, this old mercury dime here.
Right, and so you can see how worn out it is. It has no features left on it. It's so worn out compared to the one that's rarely used. Look at the difference.
Yeah, poor old Harry down here, he never got the finger.
He's a little bit worn.
He is a little worn. I couldn't tell you what that one was for. I think it was for charge accounts. And of course this is the ribbon because this was not in the carbonless era. You had to have inked ribbons, and this was something when we re-inked probably every month until it wore out.
Typewriter ribbon.
It's a gigantic, thick typewriter ribbon. And we ran out of places to buy those, so that was the end of that. And then the crank for power outages, as I said, you know, that would go in here.
So if there was no electricity, you could still hand crank it. One more thing here. I see string hanging down from the ceiling.
Yep.
And it's going across the ceiling on eyes or something, and then it comes down and then back up, and it goes to a spool.
Yep.
So this is for tying up packages or something?
Yep. That got hung up there on February 22nd, 1979.
Is labeled?
That's my writing. I put that on. I remember making this little. That was a replacement. It was a different kind of a coil before that. And when we got that one in, I had to rig it. But that
and it has
right
worked.
There, the split bolt is. Go back a little bit.
Oh, I see. There's a weight.
See, when I pull this up down here to cut it, I don't want it to stay down here. I want it the hell out of my way. So we put it on there.
Oh.
Right. That other one is quite. That one's really a cool antique there.
Yeah, I see.
That was professionally made, and that one used to hang. The store. This was called Oatman's Hardware, and next door was Oatman's Meat Market. And I think they were brothers. They might have been cousins. But anyway, that I'm pretty sure hung in Oatman's Meat Market because I have a really old picture taken pre-turn of the century of Oatman's Meat Market.
Tying up packs of meat.
The exact looking one that was in there. And if I had to guess, I'd say when they went out of business, it came over here.
Yeah, makes sense.
And we have two different sizes of strings in there. One you can break with your hand and one you can't.
I see that. So that's pretty
it's
cool.
Kind of the same thing. See, it kind of, you pick it up, well, not that one. See how it pulls it out of
I see.
the weight?
It lifts it up and down.
Not so.
It's been not used in a while.
Might need a little bit of lubrication.
Yeah. It's just got a little dust on it, but it would only lift it back up a little bit just so it wasn't laying on the table.
Right.
So if you were handling meat and whatever, you wouldn't get it all tangled up in what you were doing. But over here where you've got yours set up, it's right by the cash register, so it pulls it much higher up because it's coming off this ceiling.
What people seem to be really excited about is this little bag hang, this thing here, and it's really valuable. It's from
Wholesale
Wiedemann-
Grocers.
Wiedemann Kent and Company, Cleveland, Ohio, on Water Street.
So let's see, what is
Done
would
it.
there be a piece of iron on top with a square hole? A handle maybe?
I would say it held a sign or something maybe, but that's kind of a
Yeah.
weird shape.
It could have held a sign. It's
don't know
a
what
good
the-
thought.
Got me.
So it tapers together at the top for smaller bags and it gets wider as it goes down for bigger bags. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
This place is full of wonders, isn't it?
Everything has a function, like an old ship.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I think that's probably going to be enough for me to edit a long video together. I don't generally do them so long, but this place deserves it.
I'm glad you came by. It was fun showing you around.